Hey everyone, welcome back. You are listening to 한국어천재 on TBS EFM 101.3, and it is time to upgrade your Korean. We're leveling up. We're going into the high level, master level Korean here, and I am doing it with the professor of interpretation and translation at Hankuk University of Foreign Studies. I'm here with Professor Daniel. Hi.
Good evening.
And you know what? You every week always bring us some tough things, but you always start it off real slow. You know, you give us a nice warm up here. Last week, you threw me for a loop there with some of these. We had a lot to go through.
These were very tough, agreed. Yeah, a lot of 고사성어 there. So.
Yes. Oh my gosh, those 고사성어s, those are like those idiomatic expressions from like long time ago, right? They're based on things from a long time ago.
They sure are. Yes.
Now, this first one, I actually had brought this up after our show. I had started talking about this with a friend. I got a message from my 중마고. I actually got one. And
you guys were riding bamboo wooden horses when you were young?
Absolutely.
Nice.
I got my bamboo wooden horse in the back, you know. I just keep
Rocking
it right
horse,
there.
right.
Yeah, got it right there in the back. But 중마고, for anyone who's first-time listeners who didn't catch last week, what was that?
Absolutely. So a friend that you go way back with, and the visual imagery here is someone that you rode a bamboo rocking horse with.
That's old school friends there. That's some old school childhood friends.
Can't
there.
go older than that.
And shout out to Laura, who is my 중마고. Now, this next one that we had here was actually quite fun to describe here because Korea is all about those visual and descriptive ones. What was the second one we learned last week?
We are going underwater here to meet some crustaceans. So 가재는 개편.
That's right. And now kaje, we would kind of talk about as like a crawfish, right? A crayfish sort of thing.
Crayfish,
Lobsters, yeah. So it's on the side of the crab because K in this case means crab. And so we're talking about how the crawfish or the lobster is on the crab's side. And we would just kind of
Birds of a feather.
Flock together. Yeah, I guess that would be the easiest thing. But it was this next one that got me. This is where you decided to challenge me last week.
Internal organ imagery here. So not the prettiest image, but a very useful phrase. So 간에가 붓고 쓸개가 붙는다.
Now, as you guys remember who tuned in last week, I was like, why are we talking about the liver and what was it, the gallbladder?
Gallbladder, yes. 쓸개.
I'm like, why does this come up in my conversation today? But there's actually a reason.
There sure is. So basically someone who takes advantage of a situation or is an opportunist, goes here, goes there, whatever works better.
Yeah, they're just kind of seeking out their opportunities there and not really caring about anything else.
Attaching itself to your liver and then to your gallbladder.
It's very negative too, right?
Yes, definitely. This is not a positive phrase.
But this next one here, I feel like will be an easier kind of breather. We learned about it last week. 바늘 가는데 실 간다. And that's wherever the needle goes, the thread follows.
Bingo, yes.
So, but we would kind of probably just say like, peas and carrots. This person and I go together like peas and carrots.
A horse and carriage, yep.
Or PB&J. I don't know
that's
why I suddenly have a Wisconsin accent coming out here, but I got my accent back.
Go off. What was it called? The bubbler?
The bubbler. I love that. The bubbler. You don't have that where you're from, right?
No, we do not use that in New York. So I'm walking here.
I'm walking here. But this last one we learned last week was the easiest of all of them.
This is a great one. Yes. So 어려울 때 친구가 진짜 친구다.
That's right. So when things are hard, a friend is really a friend. So we would say
a friend in need.
Yeah, is a friend indeed.
Bingo.
But this week, we're still sticking in this sort of more higher language, but it feels like we have a theme here. And it feels like summer.
Yes, absolutely. So I am sitting here. Luckily, it's well air conditioned here, but thinking like, what do we want to talk about this week? Summer, sitting at home sweating. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I was sweating on my way here. It's so hot, you guys. I'm dying out here in this weather. But this first one, we're going to just start it off simple. I think this is a really useful one too. What's this?
Absolutely. So this is a combination of four separate Chinese characters here. So 한자 here. 춘하 주동.
Yes. And so I recognize some of these here because the 동, I remember from the 동계 Olympics.
In Pyeongchang 2 years ago.
Exactly. I happen to be a 홍보대사 for the 동계 Olympics.
You still have the official red jumper?
Yep. I had the jumpers and everything, and I got to bear the torch and stuff. It was really cool. But 동 here means winter.
Winter, it sure does. And if you add 게 to any of these, then that would be like an adjective for the season. So you could say 춘게, 하게, 추게, and 동게.
So this hage one then is talking about the summer.
Bingo.
Because we often hear the hage Olympic for Summer Olympics. So that would mean that 춘 and 추 are...
봄춘 and 가을추.
Okay, so we've got spring, summer, fall, winter right there. The 춘, 하, 추, 동.
Bingo.
Right.
So probably a similar phrase would be 사계절.
Oh yeah, the four seasons.
Four
there we
seasons,
go.
yeah.
That's easy peasy. Well, that's how I like to start it off, I'll be honest. But this next one, all right, I'm prepping myself here.
It's tough.
What are we getting into?
Okay, so I'll read the first one here. So 가뭄 끝은 있어도 장마 끝은 없다.
Okay, so I recognize this here, but I'm trying to get the meaning. So 가뭄 is the term for a drought.
A drought,
right?
yes. So
So you're saying if there is an end to a drought, or even though there is an end to a drought, 장마, the rainy season,
never
doesn't
ends.
have an end, right?
The damage brought on by, I guess, flooding or heavy rains causes a lot more damage than a drought would. So.
Now I'm curious, when would you what situation would you use this?
I guess if you had maybe a bad situation before, but it suddenly got a lot worse,
Oh.
or if something suddenly happened that was really bad, you might use the imagery of the rainy season to pick that.
Man, that's some sad language right there then to talk about that. And I feel like you're sticking with the 가뭄 theme here.
I am, yeah. The next one is slightly easier depending on how you look at it. So slightly different timeline. So 3년 가뭄은 견뎌도 한 달 홍수는 못 견딘다.
Okay, so 3년 가뭄은 견뎌도. My
That's a
gosh,
tough one.
Kayla has the small mouth malfunction. 견디다 is like the term for to endure for something.
To get through it.
Yeah.
To survive, right?
And so you endured 3 years, 3년, 3 years of drought. That was that 가뭄 again. And then it says 한 달 홍수는 못 견딘다. And so 홍수 here, I'm sure people might recognize the 수 for
Yes,
the water here. 홍수 is like a flood.
A flood, a sudden flood. So in this case, instead of the 장마 from the previous expression, we're talking about straight-on flooding.
Oh man. So if I got this right here, it's saying even though you endure 3 years of drought, you cannot endure 1 month of flood? Is that
Bingo.
talking about
yeah,
it?
that any the damage from water or the rainy season is a lot greater than from a drought. Yeah. So
when would you
agricultural
use
imagery.
this?
Just similar to the previous one. So if there's a situation suddenly gets a lot worse, or there's a sudden kind of accident or disaster, then that would be a lot harder to endure than just regular hard times.
Okay, so if you guys can visualize a drought, obviously very difficult, but a long time. Droughts imply
Slow and
long
steady.
time. Yeah, but a flood is just a rush. It just comes in and dumps it on you. And so I think that's the imagery they're looking for. Is just not the everyday difficulties, but this big old dump of difficulties that come in there. Oh, that's actually really useful. Would you say these are used a lot?
No.
No?
I had to
Okay.
dig deep to find these. So yeah.
The honesty, the sheer honesty. Nope, these are not.
Pretty esoteric here. So,
Well, this next one here, I feel like will be a little bit easier in terms of vocabulary for people here.
sure is. So 여름비는 잠비, 가을비는 떡비.
I'm sure everyone's like, that's a lot of pee in there.
Yes, there is.
It's a
Lots
lot
of rain.
pee. So 여름비 is summer rain. 여름비는 잠비, sleep rain?
Yes, a rain that puts you to sleep. Why? Because if it's raining, it's summer, you can't even cut the weeds. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so that makes sense. It's so hot, you don't want to go outside. It's raining, you just sleep. But this other one, 가을비는 떡비. So 가을 is the term for autumn or
Beautiful autumn rain. So
fall, I guess, if you're from certain regions that say that. So the autumn rain is rice cake rain?
sure, because you've just harvested your stuff, your rice, I guess, during Chuseok, and you can now make rice cakes.
Oh, that actually makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. Here, I was just thinking, I'm like, do you cuddle the rice cakes? Is that what?
In my mouth, maybe, right? So, while I chew them.
Oh, that makes so much. So they're basically saying like, at least you can like gain some things from this rain here.
Exactly. Like in the summer, if it rains, you're not going to be doing much. In the autumn, you're going to be more productive. Again, the agricultural imagery here.
A lot of agricultural phrases here. I'm
are.
impressed with this here. And this next one as well seems to be very agriculturally related.
It sure is. So.
What's this next one here?
Well, this is pretty visceral here. So 여름에 하루 놀면 겨울에 열흘 굶는다.
Oh my gosh. So that one there, I feel like we're all hearing a lot of similar words. That 여름, we're talking about summer. So 여름에 하루 놀면. So if you play for a day, one day in summer, it says 겨울에 열흘 끓는다. And so that's saying there in winter, you will starve for 10 days?
All because of that one day you weren't working in summer.
That is so visceral.
It is, yeah. It's a warning. Yeah.
Well, can you apply this? Is it only for summer? I feel like a lot of these things are just summer.
You could probably use spring as well. So like 봄에 하루 놀면 and then
겨울에 열흘 굶는다.
Yes.
So this is basically just, I feel like it reminds me of those kind of things that parents would say where, don't do tomorrow what you can do today sort of thing because later you won't have time, you'll pay for it reminds me of that story.
The two animals.
Yes.
There's an insect.
Yeah,
two insects.
Yeah, what was it?
There's an ant.
There's an ant and the grasshopper.
Grasshopper.
That was it. Yes. The ant and the grasshopper. Like what was it? Was it the ant who would work all the time?
He is working hard there, that little ant.
Yeah. And then the metugi would kind of be like
strumming his guitar.
Yeah, just chilling. And then all of a sudden winter came and the ant
Guess who's ready?
Yep, ant was all ready and grasshopper's like tuk tuk tuk. So,
can I borrow some sugar? Right. So,
exactly. That's crazy. So, like, would you say this one's kind of common, or is this also?
I mean, this is just common sense. I'd say it's a lot easier to understand.
Oh,
so, sure.
yeah. That would make more sense. Oh, I made a mistake. Metugi is what locust, and then 배짱이 is the one for grasshoppers.
I did
there.
not know
So,
that, so
thank you, PD, for calling me out on that. But it's great because when Daniel comes in here, I always feel like my Korean is just expanding. Like there's so many words, and when I bring these up in conversation, you guys wouldn't believe. Like my Korean friends were like, "Where did you learn this?" And I was like,
slow clap, right?
Yeah. 왜냐면 제가 이거는 그 친구들한테 보여줬을 때 they're like, 아니 케일라 이런 말은 우리 솔직히 많이 안 쓰는데 어디서 배우셨어요? I was like, 아니 교수님한테 역시 교수님 역시. And I was like, 외국인 교수님인데 wow. So they were
저도
really
연구하고 찾아냈습니다.
But these are so great because what I want to emphasize is just how visual Korean can really get.
A lot of metaphors, a lot of similes.
Yeah, and so that's what can really set apart your Korean language skills is when you're at the part where you're just kind of basic conversation, totally fine. But if you're able to get, whether it's expressions or whether it's these visuals, these visual descriptions to describe something, even if it's not necessarily commonly used, if you have that knowledge or ability to do it, that's what kind of sets apart those different levels there. So if there's anything that you could take from here, what would be one of the things you would recommend that they take away?
Probably the most useful one would just be 춘하, 추동. Just
Yeah.
because if you know those four Hancha, then you'll be able to pick up on a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I highly agree with that. We've always talked about the Hancha. We've talked about how once you know certain characters, you can pick out different, they're like root words, sort of. The same in English, we have root words. But the chuna, chudong, that is the 4 seasons of the year. I hope you guys found that one useful. But you know what? I gotta say, I need a break here. My brain is about to explode. And I want to make sure that the voice actor over here gets his time in the spotlight. And
we have a good one today.
I know. I'm so excited. Are you ready for it?
I sure am.
All right, let's cue up this movie clip.
난 저기 모히또 가가지고 몰디브나 한잔 하려니까.
Wow.
That's a tough one.
That's
Wow.
a tough one. I'm going to be very impressed with this, no matter what comes out of your mouth here. That's hard. All right, everyone, let's give Daniel his moment.
Okay, here we go. So, 난 저기 모히또 나가서 몰디브나 한잔 하려니까.
I love
Not
it.
quite, but yeah.
You know, it was great here. So actually, this is from the movie 내부자들, right? And I think it was Lee Byung-hun who said this line.
He did a little switcheroo here, didn't he?
I was going to say, what happened here with this line?
Well, I imagine it was originally supposed to be I'm going to go to the Maldives and have a mojito, but he decided to ad-lib that, I'm guessing, and switch the two.
Okay, so it was like a sort of thing, like a on purpose switch because the movie was kind of a heavier movie, and so they're like just to add a little lightness to it. They did this. He did this switcheroo because what is this saying here exactly? So they get the joke here.
Yeah, okay. So in English, this would be I am going to Mojito to have myself a Maldives cocktail, right? So he switched it completely on its head, right? So.
Which I think is just hilarious here. But, you know, it's great because there are some words and phrases in here that I think are really good. I think if I had to pick one before we go, it's just that last bit here, not the Maldives and not the mojito.
Those are easy. Yeah.
Those are easy. But that 한잔하다 like is
Perfect.
We use this quite a bit.
We do.
And what when we say 한잔하다, what are we saying?
Well, I mean, you could put a noun in front of there, like 커피 한잔 하자, 뭐 차를 한잔 하자. But you could also just say like 한잔을 하자, as in like, oh, let's meet up soon.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very useful. I will often say to friends or coworkers, or even if it's one of those moments when you're passing and you want to be like, hey, we should meet up soon. Like, let's meet up soon. I'd be like, 우리 커피 한 잔에, 커피 한잔 꼭 하자. Like, you know, just sort of this sort of passing, kind of the way we say, let's get together soon. It can be
밥
very
먹자처럼.
light. Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
For sure. But you can use coffee, you can use tea,
Sure.
you can use cocktails, whatever you really feel like. It all works, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, Daniel, thank you so much it's always a pleasure to have you here.
It's been great. So everyone stay cool out there. So.
Yeah, no kidding. And make sure you guys try to remember some of these high-level Korean phrases. But that is all the time that we have for today, unfortunately. 네, 오늘 한국어 천재는 여기까지입니다. 사연이나 신청곡 혹은 궁금한 점 있으시다면 인스타그램 @koreangenius1013으로 DM을 보내주세요.